Hey everybody, my name is Cody. I am with C4 Depot, and today I'm going to be bringing you a fun little tutorial. A while back, while I was searching on Vimeo here, I came across this video by Chris Cousins, and it's titled Audi Idents Material Calligraphy. And it's a cool little effect that he's got here. He has some animated calligraphy and script across different kind of car materials, like right here is a kind of a disc brake. And then he goes into some cool tire textures right here, and it's nice, very up close and very elegant. So we wanted to figure out how this was done and kind of bring you a way that you'd be able to recreate this effect back at home. And the way it's done is actually there's no modeling of the letters in Cinema 4D at all. Actually, it's a animated height and bump map, and we're going to teach you how to create that over in After Effects. Now, if you don't have After Effects, you can go ahead and download the 30-day trial. It's free, yeah, you can be able to do that way. So first, we're going to need a nice scripty font. I found one on off of Google. It's called CAC Champagne. It's from Font Squirrel. You can go ahead and click on that right there. It's free, so why not? We'll use that, and we'll get a cool little effect out of it. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to open up After Effects here. And while that's opening, I'll give you a little bit. So, yeah, like I said earlier, it's a height map that is being projected onto textures in Cinema 4D. And the height map works as anything that is pure white is going to be extruded or embossed, and anything that is pure black is going to, not be extruded or embossed. So here we go. With After Effects open, we're going to create a new composition. We're going to do a 2000 by 2000 pixel composition. It's a nice 1-to-1 ratio. It's very important while creating this height map that is going to be the same as your texture that you apply. So we're just going to use a simple plane in Cinema 4D. So it's nice 1-to-1 ratio, and we'll make sure it's nice and high res. We'll create it 10 seconds long. That's really all we're going to need. So I'll just type in scripts AE here. So here we go. We'll create a new text layer, and we'll just use the word quality. And I've already got my script text right here all set up. So we're going to go ahead and make sure this is center. Turn on my title action safe grade right here, and this little plus sign is our enter. So we're going to change the anchor point. Just go ahead and click A to get that, and we'll move it across into the middle here. Alright, and then we're just going to go ahead and scale it up. So we'll hit S for the scale, and we'll bring it up nice and big. Now for this tutorial, I'm not going to go ahead and animate the entire thing. We'll just go through the Q and the U, just so you guys can kind of get a feel of how to animate, script out these letters up in After Effects. So what we're going to start is I'm going to actually do it one letter at a time. You can go through and script out the entire thing, but I like going letter by letter just to kind of keeps the quality a little bit nicer, and I can change the animations. So the way we're going to go ahead and animate this is by using the generate stroke effect in After Effects. So right here, that's what we're going to use. So let's get started. We'll mask out just the Q, because that's what we're going to start with. Just use our pen tool, mask it out real quick, and we're going to isolate it. Then what we're going to do next is actually we're going to trace it out. And this is kind of, if you're imagining it, this is kind of what you would use if you're going to draw this with your pencil. The way that you would write this letter out, that's what we're going to do. So we're going to trace it out that way. And I'm not very good with Bezier curving or kind of vectoring anything out with this thing. So I'm just going to kind of cheat and just kind of click a whole bunch of times. If you're better than me at this, then power to ya. I could use a little bit more practice with this, but I'm just going to do it nice and quick. Kind of follow the way that this would be written out here. Alright, so we have that, and next up is we're going to generate strokes. So type in under effects and presets. If you don't have this right here, you can go to your effects right here, generate, and then stroke. That is what we're going to use. And what's going to pop up under the effects controls are these little parameters right here. And since we're using our second mask as our kind of our path here, if you click on your text layer, hit the M key, you'll see we've got our second mask right here. That's what we're going to use to generate this stroke. And then under paint style, we're going to hit reveal original image. And what's that going to do? It's going to kind of disappear. If you're looking closely, you can see the little line. What we need to do is increase the brush size so that it reveals the whole letter, nice and easy. And so right away, actually, if you go to this end here, if you drag this around, you can kind of see that we've already got most of our work done. It's nice and animated. Just unfortunately, right here, as it passes, it kind of reveals too much of the letter at once. So we're just going to fix that real quick with a couple of masks, and then we're going to animate the masks. So first, let's animate this. We'll hit the little stopwatch here under the end. Make sure we're at the beginning of our timeline, and then I just want this to be over 3 seconds. So we're going to go ahead and change that to 100, and there we go. In the timeline, it's already animated. So right here is where we're going to want to clean it up a bit. We can actually drag this down here. We can make it look a little cleaner. There we go. So that's what we need to fix. We need to kind of remove these little portions. So we're going to go ahead and click on our layer, go back to our pen tool, and kind of just kind of sketch out where this is gonna be, and we're gonna make sure we're subtracting that text, and then we're gonna create another one on this side. And then make sure we're subtracting there as well. So there we go. Comes in, it's nice and skinny there, and as this comes around, we're gonna have to remove it. So we come right here, we're going to go and animate these mask paths. So just hit M twice. You're going to come up, you're going to see this mask path parameter. Just go ahead and click on both of those stopwatches, and then let's say it takes like just not too much, but right here, this mask should disappear. So we'll just go ahead and click on our selection tool. We'll click on this little point here, and then we'll drag it out of the way, and we'll do this one as well. Yeah, we'll do that. So there we go. Does that? Maybe it can go a little quicker. So just drag that. And then right when that's done, this one should be coming out as well. So then we'll just click on this point right here. There we go. And we'll just drag this all the way across and out of the way. And that should start right there. So we'll just go back here and adjust this keyframe. Shouldn't start yet. There we go. Just snaps really quick. And there we go. There is our cue. It's not perfect, but it'll work. And then we'll go ahead and do the U now. So if you remember, we had the whole word just kind of masked out. We just selected the Q. So what we can do is we'll rename this Q, so we know. But we're going to duplicate that layer, and we're going to delete all the masks that we created for this one. And then we're going to delete this stroke that we created. So now we have our full text again, and now we're going to isolate out the U. Boom. So now we have our U, and we're actually going to duplicate that because there's actually 2 strokes in the U. We've got this downstroke right here and then this downstroke right there. So we'll just duplicate that one again. And then on the first one, we'll isolate out just the downstroke, the first one. And then on the second one, we'll do the same, but with the second downstroke right here. Cool. So now if you hide right here, if you hide either or, we got to make sure it's on that those are on subtract. Alright, so let's switch these around. Alright, so this one right here is our first downstroke right here, Q3. And then this one right here is the second downstroke. So we're just going to do this really quickly. On our first downstroke, comes down like this. So we're going to go ahead and create this new path. Nice and easy. Just kind of try to keep it as centered in the middle as possible. Not too sharp. Boom. Right there. Generate the stroke. I'm just going to go ahead and drag it on there really quickly. We're using mask 3, this blue one right here, as you can see, and we're going to do reveal original image. Bring this up 100% right there, and then animate it. So let's say I want this to go in as the Q is being drawn out. Let's say like right there, I want this downstroke to start. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this to 0, hit end, and then maybe half a second later, it's going to be finished. So we'll just go ahead and type in 100. And then we'll go ahead and do the second part. Go back to our pen tool. Just adjust it just a little bit. There we go. We're going to generate this stroke. Just going to drag it on right there. We're selecting mask 3. Reveal original image. Bring up the brush size so we can see the entire letter. There we go. And then we're going to bring this down to 0 because it hasn't been drawn out yet. Click the stopwatch, and then maybe another half a second later, finish it off. Bring it back up to 100%. So there we go. Now we got our scripted U and our Q as well. Just for time purposes in this tutorial, I'm just going to do those 2 letters. If you wanted to keep going, you can just go ahead and duplicate that, delete all the masks and restart, but do that for every single individual letter until you have the entire scripted out. You can go ahead and keyframe everything the way you like it. But just for this tutorial, I think that is good enough. So I'm going to adjust my timeline here, and I'm going to render it out. So we can go ahead and add to render queue. It's going to bring up our render queue right here. Oh, I forgot the most important step. I'll just go ahead and delete that. So in order to make this a steady height map, we're going to need a gradual gradient from black to white. So right now, if we were to use this as our height map, it's going to be a very sharp up and down Q and U. If that's what you want, then just go ahead and export it. If not, we'll make a nice easy one so it's nice and steady. So we're going to go here. We're going to create a new adjustment layer. And then we're going to hit Effect. We're going to go to Blur and Sharpen. And we're going to do Gaussian Blur. It's just my go-to kind of blur. And what I like is actually using 6. It's nice and smooth. You can change that how you want. And then once we have that, we will then add it to our render queue. Go ahead and render that back out. I'm going to save this as just script AE, and then we're just going to hit render. So once that's exported, we'll bring it back into Cinema 4D. Alrighty, so it's done exporting in After Effects, and I've already gone ahead and opened up a new project in Cinema 4D here. I'm just going to go ahead and create a plane, and it's going to be 400 centimeters by 400 centimeters, and we're going to go ahead and leave this at 20 segments by 20 segments. So there's a nice plane. I'm going to go ahead and load in my texture. I've already created a rubber texture. You know, for this tutorial, you can use your own texture. You can find one on the internet. Just go ahead and Google rubber texture or metal, or you can use any preset. But I'm going to go ahead and use this one I've already created. And I'm going to go ahead and add a light here. And I'm going to move that back. Kind of move it back in Z space. I'm going to go ahead and add my interactive render on, turn the quality up so I can see what I'm looking at, and it looks pretty dang dark, so I'm going to go ahead and make this around 280%. There we go. That is pretty bright. It'll work. Yeah, that'll work for what we're going for. So there's my texture. My rubber texture, and now it's time for making this thing embossed. So we're going to double click on our texture, and I'm using Cinema R16. So on this thing we have displacement. We're going to go ahead and click that on, and then under this texture we're going to go ahead and load up our After Effects that we just exported, and that's going to come up here. And so let me turn the quality down so my computer doesn't freeze on you. And here you go. So we're not seeing anything right away. That is because we animated it, and in our first keyframe, the text wasn't written out yet. So let's just jump to the end. And you're going to see this bump here. And, well, that's not what we're looking for. It's because in our plane, with our segments, it's only 20 segments by 20 segments. So this shader is trying to displace only 20 segments, so it's just a bunch of these squares, and it's trying to make it look like the text, but it's not working because there's not enough geometry. So we're going to go ahead and click on sub-polygon displacement right here, and right away you can see it jumps over, and it's pretty jaggedy though. It's because there's still not enough. So let's go ahead and increase this until we see what we want here. 7 looks pretty good. Let's see if we can go for 8. Let's stick with 7. 7 looks good. So let's turn the quality up, see if we can get like a nicer render for that. See what it looks like. There we go. It's not bad. Unfortunately, our glow or our blur over in After Effects wasn't steady enough. It's still pretty sharp as it's going straight up and down, but we can fix that quickly. Let's just lower the height. Let's just make it 3 centimeters tall instead, and that should bring it down. Let me bring the quality back down so we can go quicker with this. So that brought it down a lot. We can actually just do it even more. We'll bring this to 44%. And that should give us a nice, there we go. It's not bad. It's just embossed just a little bit with the Q and the U. And that is it. All of the work was done in After Effects, and it's already animated. So all that is left is to add a camera, get some camera movement, and then we're done with the project. So I'm going to go ahead and add that here. I'm going to jump back to the first. Let me see. Let's go back into the view and let's angle this to where we want it. Bring that down so it's just really quick. There it is. So let's zoom in right here. Cool. So let's jump back to the first frame. We'll keyframe the camera, make sure that we're in our camera view. Keyframe it. There's our little keyframe. We'll hop to the end, And then let's rotate the camera around and move it so it's back in the center. Okay, right there. I think I just want to zoom out just a little bit. There you go. That'll work. Just keyframe it. Now if we hit play, you'll see we got a nice gradual camera pan. Alright, now let's export it and see what it looks like. Okay, and it's done exporting. As you can see right here, we got the nice animation. And if I hit play on this, it's pretty quick. But that's because while we were in After Effects, I didn't span the keyframes over a good amount of time. You can actually slow it down in After Effects however you want. So that's it. If you liked what you saw today, there's more at c4depot.com, and don't forget to register in the back room for lots of free models and rigs to boost your productivity and save you tons of time. So goodbye from James, Kyle, and myself, and I'll see you at the depot.